Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ramani. I haven't had a sip of alcohol since Memorial Day 2023, so it's been about a year and 4 months since I've had alcohol, but I just realized I haven't updated you all in about a year because my last no alcohol update was when I turned 5 months sober. And then yesterday somebody commented on that video and I was just like, why haven't I made an update? Because it's been so long, so I want to let y'all know everything that has happened in this past year that I haven't updated you. If you haven't watched that first video, I want you to watch that one before you start this one, because in that video I talked about why I stopped drinking, how I started drinking, and just it gave like all of the background on why I decided to quit alcohol. Since I quit alcohol, my body has felt so amazing. I'm a personal trainer and I'm a yoga instructor, so I was always active, but because I was a social drinker, my body never looked as good as it could look, and I never felt as good as I could feel because my body was always either bloated or I was inflamed, and I would be inflamed like under my eyes. So if I had a night out and I was drinking, my face would be very puffy and then I would be bloated, and then on occasions I would have a sore throat because when I'm drinking, of course I'm yelling, I'm having fun, so I would have a sore throat. And on many days I had to teach a yoga class the next day and I didn't even feel up to teaching the yoga class because I didn't have a voice. This is not to say that I was like a crazy drinker, but I was a social drinker like most people are, and my body just was not reacting well with it. And most times our body does not react well to alcohol because alcohol is poison, but because we live in a society where alcohol is normalized, we don't really see an issue with it. We don't see an issue with hangovers, with throwing up in the morning, with being dehydrated. We treat it as like a badge of honor, almost as like something that's funny when your body is like literally purging toxins. Now throughout this year and 4 months, I have not had any alcohol. I have dibbled and dabbled in a little THC. I do smoke and I take gummies, but I don't do it in excess. But even if I did, that's my business. But I don't do it in excess. So if I have a gummy, which I haven't had gummies in a few months, it would just be like either a 5 or 10 milligram THC gummy and I would bite it in half. Or I've been smoking recently. If you hear like noises, it's because I'm in Costa Rica and there are like howler monkeys in the trees howling. But if you don't hear it, just disregard that. I smoke joints. A joint is like a paper with marijuana inside of it. But I smoke, oh my God. I smoke one joint a week typically, so like I'm only taking maybe like 3 to 4 hits of a joint at any given time. So I'm not the type of person to just like sit there and smoke for like an hour. It's probably gonna take me like 3 minutes max to smoke, and then I'll have like a little buzz and that's it. So when I go out, that's typically what I do. A lot of people have asked me like, oh, like don't you feel weird when like you're not buzzed? I be high. I'm not gonna lie, but honestly sometimes I don't feel like being high, because when I am high I like to be creative. So I like to do yoga, or I like to meditate, or I like to like write out concepts for content. So sometimes I will go out and just be completely sober, and I'm actually fine with that. Right now my life feels so good that I don't really feel the need to always be inebriated. I don't need to be drunk. I don't need to be high for real. Like I can go out just like this, like very sober, and I can have a great time. And I'm proud of myself for saying that, because that was not always the case. When I was in college and just in my early 20s, I'm 25 right now, I'll be 26 next month. In my earlier 20s, like 20, 21, 22, could not fathom the idea of going out and not having a drink or being drunk. At this moment, I just kind of feel like if your life feels like really good, like if you're always in that good space, you don't have to go and try to find that good space with weed or alcohol. Like I said, I do smoke weed, so I don't want to sound like a hypocrite. I hope that I'm not sounding like a hypocrite, because I'm not saying that you shouldn't do these things. I'm just saying like don't rely on these things. A lot of times I relied on alcohol. If I was having social anxiety and I was out, I would have some drink so that I could loosen up. If you are having a stressed day, you come home and you drink wine. Like I don't think that we should be relying on it. So I'm kind of cool with smoking weed. I see a lot of different opinions. Like some people say that they are going to quit smoking weed. I don't really see it as a bad thing for me because I don't rely on it, and it's not something that I have to do every day. Like I said, it's something that I choose to do, and then I like to be creative with that highness. But I've actually decided that I'm gonna stop smoking, so I'm actually going to start making cannabis tea instead of smoking. I don't feel like it's safe for my lungs. Even if I am smoking papers, I don't feel like that's safe for my lungs. So I found a few videos on YouTube, and I'm gonna start making cannabis tea so I can just drink it when I want to have cannabis rather than smoking it. But for the most part, I'm sober. I don't really have to have any substances. Like, I feel good. And like I said, right now I'm traveling in Costa Rica, so I'm sure that has something to do with me just feeling good and me just feeling at peace. So I don't feel like I need anything. I am really happy about how my body is looking now that I am no longer drinking alcohol. And it's not necessarily about being skinny, but just not carrying around excess weight in my stomach and in my face and not feeling so sluggish. It's not really about, ooh, like I'm super skinny now, but obviously the weight that I was carrying was not meant to be on my body. People have different body types, so some of us are going to be thicker than others, so that's not the issue. The issue is when I stop drinking this certain drink and then this weight falls off, that means that this weight was not natural. It was not supposed to be on me. So that's why I say, like, I'm happy that I was able to shed the weight that was not supposed to be like on my body. I hope that this is making sense. I get a lot of questions about friendship. I still have the same friends that I did when I was drinking and when I first quit, because my friendships were not centered around drinking. We drank together, but we were not friends because we were drunks. If not drunks, but we weren't friends. Like, we weren't party friends. We were real friends. So when I decided to stop drinking, it wasn't like, oh my God, like, why is she not drinking? It was like, oh, like, I'm proud of you. And a lot of my friends, since they are actually older than me, so they're in their late 20s and early 30s, they've kind of reached that age where they want to cut back on alcohol anyway because they see the negative effects. So we're all kind of on the same page. Like, they drink, but they are even sometimes like, no, like, we're going out sober. And I like to think that I had something to do with that. So I didn't really have any issues with losing friends because I think that I cut my fake friends off well before I was even sober. And I haven't found it difficult to make new friends because as a yoga instructor, I am in the wellness industry. So the friends that I am meeting, the new people that I'm meeting, they're either sober or they're also cutting back on alcohol because they care about their well-being. So I'm kind of meeting people who are in the same space that I am in. Now, I'm not gonna lie, before I started my travels in Costa Rica, maybe like 4 months ago, I was like, dang, should I start drinking? Like, what if there are good drinks there? I don't want to miss out on, you know, different things while I'm traveling. But one of my subscribers commented something amazing and it's really stuck with me. And she just said, you know, Romani, you're never going to regret being sober. It really stuck with me because I'm not going to regret being sober. And she's right. As I'm solo traveling, I don't really need to be drinking, especially because even though I'm meeting great people, I don't know these people for real. So I don't really need to be inebriated because you never know. I might have some regrets if I'm drinking in a strange place. So if you know, needed that motivation, just remember you are never going to regret being sober. Overall, I feel really great about the decision to stop drinking. I do not think that I will be drinking again just because I feel very good and I really like the effects that not drinking alcohol has had on me. I do think that I will continue smoking weed just because I don't feel like it negatively affects me. Down the line, maybe I'll feel different. Well, no, I won't continue smoking weed, but I will continue consuming weed because, like I said, I'm gonna make the tea, but I do think that I will continue consuming weed. This video is not to get you to stop like drinking. Just do everything in moderation. Personally, I don't even want to drink in moderation because when I was drinking in moderation, I was still having negative effects and I'm just not willing to have those effects. I want to feel good 24/7. So yeah, no alcohol for me. If you are sober, you can let me know, you know, how long you've been sober. Honestly, you don't even have to let me know how long you've been sober, but you can put something about your journey in the comments. I have lost count because I just don't even think about alcohol and I don't care anymore, but I had to count for the purpose of this video. But yeah, it's not even something that I really think about. It's not something that I broadcast. If I'm out and somebody offers me something, I'll just say like no. or I'll say I don't drink, but it's not something that I talk about. I just don't care. Like, I just live my life like alcohol just doesn't really exist, and it's fine for me. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that this helps you on your sobriety journey or any other journey that you are on, and I will see you in my next video.